I'm Karina, and I'm the one who really loves having a partner who spends a lot of time with me.
I'm Nikki, and I really love a guy that can make me laugh.
Mm. I'm Natalie, and I love a guy who spontaneously comes up with fun ideas.
That's good.
Ooh, yeah. So this episode is going to be all about attributes we're looking for in a partner. Now, I already have a partner, but these two other girls are single. So I think we're going to focus more on them and like what you
Not
guys are actually
necessarily.
looking for.
We know that Josh listens to this. I think this is a prime opportunity. I was saying to Natalie in the 4 seconds while you were in the bathroom that this would be when someone starts dating Natalie or I, they should really listen to this podcast because this would be very helpful for them. Like get some insider information. Be like, oh,
I
I
think
Speed
it's
happen
up
like
to
the
know.
process.
it's
They
like a
would know,
first
no,
date.
this is not going to work out. This isn't a good fit, or now I know exactly what to do
That's
to
right.
like,
It's like it's like pre-work
yeah.
before the date. Like you prepare for an interview, prepare
Hmm.
for the date by listening to all the podcast episodes.
I mean, at least this one. You could just like send, like, you set up a date and then you just send them this podcast episode.
I don't know. I feel like I think they should listen to all of them because there's all kinds of like minutia that would be useful. They could just drop into the conversation. Be like,
Like
I really
12
love.
hours of podcast episodes later, they're
Hey,
like,
I'm
this is
worth it. Natalie's
commitment.
worth it. Are you saying we're not? Are you saying we're not worth someone listening to 12 hours podcast? Double speed is fine.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, they better be a fast learner. They need to keep up with a fast talker. So
Yeah.
double speed, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So, really, what are you guys looking for? I mean, I love the humor thing. That's a big deal, right? You don't even know
Mhm.
you're looking for that, though, when you're younger, don't you think? I mean, you hear people say that, but then you get some. Josh and I laugh a lot. In fact, last night, ironically, Michelle Sock, who I'm good friends with and I'm in another group with, she texted and said she had tickets to Nate Bargatze. I don't know how to say his name.
Bargatze.
Bargatze?
Yeah,
Bargatze?
Bargatze.
Anyway, she had
Love
tickets and
him.
she was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, Psh, "Yeah, I want to go." So Josh and I went and we laughed so hard. And I was just like, "Oh, I love this so much." But I think even though people say they want humor, they don't actually know that they really want humor. Don't
I
you
don't like
think?
when I had no idea what I wanted. Like up until I think we talked about maybe one of the last pop, like I didn't know who I was until basically I hit my late 30s, 40. So I had no idea what I wanted in a guy was a guy that would want me. Or actually, and then unfortunately what I chose was guys that didn't really want me, but I felt that I had to prove myself to. So unpack that, everyone. But no, I had no idea what I really wanted. No concept.
Well, I didn't either. And I think I was just listening to something where they were talking. It was a divorce attorney. Actually, it was like Cody Sanchez's podcast.
Mm.
And it was, oh, I can't remember, Saxton. He's like a divorce attorney. And he basically said marriage is a lottery. And
Hmm.
he was
It's
like,
a crapshoot.
yeah, like 56% of people get divorced. And he was like, that's not counting all the people who stay together for the kids or the
Mm-hmm.
financials. And they said it's
Mm-hmm.
closer to, probably, he was like, if I had to guess, like it's probably closer to 70%, are
Mm-hmm.
people like, so he was like, marriage is a lottery. And I sent it to Josh and I was like, I mean, actually, this makes me feel better. Like, it makes me feel better because we're still together and we're still doing. I mean, like, half the time I'm like, I don't know if I want to be here, but like the other half of the time I'm like, I really want to be here. And I just thought, when I think of it as a lottery, I kind of feel like I pulled a pretty good ticket, you know?
When you got married so young, Karina, were you thinking in your head what would make a good husband and what you were
No,
looking for? Yeah, okay.
no, not even a chance. I mean, I
Right.
think especially when Josh and I started dating when I was 19 and he was 22. I mean, that is young, you guys. Like, I would never let my kids get married. I mean, I got married when I was 20 and he was 23. And so I have a 20, my daughter's 22 in January, so this month. And I have an 18-year-old and there's not a chance I would let them get married. And
Mm.
so, I don't know. I think I got a little bit lucky. I also think this is true. You grow up together. So because we were married at so young and we were able to make it work and we both have, I think, relatively adaptable and flexible personalities, and we're both, I would say, relatively positive individuals, it has worked. And maybe I just got really, really lucky, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know this is a little bit off topic. I don't want to take us too far, but Nikki, like, because we're talking about marriage, is there a part of you that wants to be married, or do you think that's something important, or just a committed relationship?
Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. I think for a lot of years, I wanted to be married because I wanted someone to choose me. I wanted that
Hmm.
validation more than anything else. Like, I don't think I understood that that's what I wanted at the time, but I wanted validation. I wanted the world to see that someone had chosen me.
Yeah.
And now, as an adult, I like the idea of a very strong long-term partnership.
Hmm.
Does that have to be marriage? Not necessarily, but I also at the same time don't really want to limit myself. For a lot of years, the guy my longest term relationship, if you can even really call it a relationship, I think that's probably a stretch. But I would kind of, he never wanted to get married and he didn't want this. And so I'd go, oh, okay, well, yeah, oh no, I'm okay with that, and I think I just lowered my expectations so much that I was like, well, if it were ever to happen, I guess maybe I could even just elope. And then I think a couple years ago, I thought, well, no, I think it actually might be kind of fun to have all of my friends and all of his, whoever this guy is, his friends and my family and his family, like all come together and like celebrate us. That actually, wait a minute, that would be kind of nice. But then
Hmm.
also at the same time, that does not have to mean a wedding. I think the older that you get, the more that you understand that marriage it's a beautiful partnership, or can be a beautiful, but then you're also contractually bound to someone, and that has a lot of implications, especially when you own a business as well and you have more complicated finances. So I also think too about, like, I'm very used to living alone. I'm
Hmm.
with my mom right now, caring for her after the surgery, and it's real hard to not have time to myself. I can only imagine, and granted, she is very much in the house, and if she goes somewhere, I'm driving her somewhere right now. That won't always be how it is, but and obviously I won't always be here. But and again, let me just say, I'm very lucky to be able to do this, and I love my mom very much. But it is very different from the life that I'm used to leading. And I think, like, even just sleeping, sleep is very important to me. And the idea, like, if I started dating someone and he snored, I would lose my mind. I'd be like, you have to sleep elsewhere. I can't. I love you so much. You need to go away. Um, so, part of me is like, could I be in a partnership with someone? But maybe we don't necessarily live in the same house. I don't know. I'm very open to what it looks like. Am I closed to the idea of marriage? No, not at all. But I'm also open to it not necessarily being marriage. I do really love the idea of a long-term true partnership. And even that feels kind of like a big thing to say, because I think for a lot of years, I was afraid to even hope for that.
Mm.
I think you spend a lot of your youth being like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. And then I think I just got so disappointed for so long that it was like, no, just don't, whenever you think about that, you feel sad. So just don't think about it. And I think that I'm finally like, you know what? Maybe it won't happen. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. I will be totally fine. I'm fine now. It'll be fine. But I'm finally again open to the idea of, like, hey, you know what? That would be kind of cool if that happened. It's okay to hope for it and be
Hmm.
okay if it doesn't happen. I think it was a very long answer to, I don't even remember the original question.
Well, how about you,
Marriage,
Natalie?
yes, totally fine.
Yeah, because Natalie, you're coming out of a
Yeah.
marriage. I mean, like this is three really different scenarios. Like, never been married, been married for 25 years. Natalie, how long were you guys married for?
Since 2008, what's that? Like seven,
18,
18
almost 18,
years? Dated 5 years before that. I
17.
mean, I've been with him for over 20 years.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's a
like
good question. Would you
thoughts
do
for
marriage
you.
again?
Would you do married again? I've been surprised that the data, that same thing I was listening to, the guy was talking about how second marriages, most people get married within 5 years after their divorce and successfully. Like the
Really?
second marriage is very successful. And the reason is because you actually know what you like and don't like at that point. And so you
Mm.
choose better. And I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Think about I was thinking about my first business was a wedding invitation business. And it's like you learn all the bad things that you did in that business. And so then when I started Karina Gardner Inc., I was like, oh, I know all the things I don't want to do. Like I know what I want to do. And so I think it kind of makes sense to me that a second marriage works. I thought that was fascinating.
Listen up,
Yeah.
Josh.
I first of all, I should say I am not in the market or looking for anybody. Like I want to focus on me. But I wouldn't say I'm closed off to marriage. I just wonder what the point is. I think you can have a committed relationship with somebody without marriage. Like to me, I think marriage is extremely important if you're going to have kids and if the younger you are when you're starting.
Mhm.
I wonder what it's about later. Like what would be added? I could still have a party. I would love, the closest people to me to be there to like honor a true commitment of some sort. I don't know what the real purpose would be for marriage, and I do have in my head, well, I already failed at one, you know? So
Mhm.
like why would I do this again?
Josh
Um,
and I had this discussion, and legally, the reason to do it again is to put a prenup in order because if you live with someone for 7 years, then you are on common law ground. So
Depends on the state.
legally, that's the reason. That would be the reason to do it.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I
Interesting,
mean,
right? That was
mm-hmm,
like, I mean, that's a lawyer's perspective, right? Like, because he was
mm-hmm.
just like, he was like, yeah, I think you shouldn't, you don't have to get married again. But the problem is, then you're under common law. And like, if you own a bit, we all own businesses. Because I
Oh
was like, if
yeah.
something would happen to Josh and I were to get married again, holy cow, my prenup would better be like buttoned
Mhm.
up tight because I have
Yeah.
children. I want to make sure they go to my children. I want to make sure, all the things. So that would be the only reason, I think,
But
is to
couldn't you
keep
Especially,
come
things
up,
buttoned up.
couldn't you do that contract without marriage?
You
oh,
could, as
true.
long as you like made sure that,
Yeah,
there's good reason for it.
right.
I want to go back a little bit to this uh do you think a marriage can end without it being called a failure?
Yes,
Because
I
it
think
just feels like a really hard judgment of yourself to say I failed at marriage.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's hard. So I think, in society's eyes, you marry till death do us part and you stay together. So I think in the average society's eyes, I probably failed. But if I'm being honest to myself and I try to do the definition for what's best for both of us, me and Eric, I think that we're making the best decision. And I think that there are plenty of marriages out there that are actually a failure that look great on paper, but nobody knows what those people are doing behind the scenes. And they are not the greatest of marriages, but they can make the whole world seem like they are. So there's all these layers to it. I think if I'm okay with looking at it just through my eyes, I still think it's a little bit of a failure, honestly, though, because I think that I never put much thought into marriage. I never did a really deep, like Karina, you hit the lottery, right? The jackpot with Josh. My guy was great. Like Eric was a perfect, he was great for somebody, but I didn't know what I wanted. I never thought marriage was something but here's what it is. I never thought like I could try to find somebody that really matched me or that I wanted. It was more like somebody chose me, Nikki, like what you're saying, like I was chosen. And in fact, this is a little personal. We won't get too deep, but last night I did a breathwork session. Have you guys ever done one of these?
Hmm.
I did a breathwork session and I had two things come to mind. And one of them was the positive thing was I want to curate my life. Like curate my life came up. Like, am I living this life that I want to create and how do I curate it? And it was a lovely thing. But the next thing that popped up in my mind, which it's literally less than 24 hours since I've done this, was I'm never going to be chosen was the thing that popped into my head. And there's a lot there, right? And I don't ever want to get into another relationship just because it feels good to be chosen. I want to put just as much power and emphasis and I am choosing this person. And I will say if I'm looking back, it never dawned on me that I am making a choice. It was more like, "Yay, I got chosen." And um I think whether it's marriage or some sort of long-term commitment, I want to make sure like if I look in my heart and I'm like I am choosing this person, because there's so much here that I love.
Mhm.
And not just the feeling of this person likes me or is making me feel good from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It absolutely does make sense. And I just, as your friend, and I think Karina would agree with me on this, but definitely let me know if not. I think from the outside, watching you go through all this, I don't look at this particular divorce as a failure on your part. I actually think that for you, and again, this isn't again anything against Eric. He's a good person, and he will
Yeah.
find someone who's great for him.
Oh, I believe
I
that.
think like it's the best thing. But I look at this step that you've taken as a success for you
Mm-hmm.
because you really are choosing yourself and
Yeah.
saying and really putting yourself first in a good way
Yeah.
and taking good care of yourself and quite frankly by default you taking good care of yourself in this way is yes it's painful for Eric now but it's going to
Mm-hmm.
end up being best for him as well even
Yeah,
though he
yeah.
probably does not yet see that but
Yeah.
as your friends, I hope that it doesn't feel like a failure too often because we very much see it as a success for you.
Yeah, I
Thank you. I
totally
appreciate
agree.
that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then I think furthermore, Natalie, and I think this should be the same for everybody's lives. I think I have more opportunities in life because I'm married to Josh, because our
Mm-hmm.
marriage allows it. You have more opportunities being separated from Eric. And I think most people don't think of it that way, because they think that for everyone being married must open more opportunities or for everyone being single. And that's just not the case. My marriage to Josh allows me a lot of financial ability because the two of us both work and we have a good time together. We have children together. So we have a family unit we have to discuss and be part of. I think it would be far more limiting to not be together. I mean, other than the fact that I love him, I'm talking about the logistical part, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like logistically, there's actually far more opportunities for us as a couple than there are with us separated. And also, I love him. But I will also say this. If anybody is listening to this and thinks our marriage is perfect, it is not. And that's the thing about marriage in general. I think it's 50% up and 50% down. That's just the way it is. So, and same with Nikki. I think her ability to do whatever she wants to do with her life, her opportunities are higher in the current state she's in.
Mhm.
So let's get back to the original thing. So Nikki and then Karina, you can answer maybe from your perspective now. What are you looking for in a partner? What makes a really good partner?
I want someone, so I do want someone who has a good sense of humor and
Mm-hmm.
who specifically a sense of humor that I enjoy, and then who also enjoys my sense of humor as well. I want someone who I want someone who believes that the relationship should be like the safe haven.
Mm-hmm.
I think there sometimes people are toughest on the people they're closest to or least careful with the people they're close. And not that I want someone to be careful with me, but like I want the relationship to be like a soft place to land whereas you know how it is with your female friends. With your female friends, you're like, you give them the benefit of the doubt. They say something, and you're
Yes.
like, well, she might be having an off day, but you don't, it's and I want that same level of like, if I say something, and or I'll go like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, and they'll say, yes, I get it. That believing the best in that partner and being open and like I not not bringing the chaos of the outside world into the relationship, but having the relationship be the place where that gets like filtered out. I want someone who is intelligent and supportive and is proud of who I am and is glad to have me around as I am proud of who they are and like glad to have them around. And like I want the kind of person who's like, this is Nikki, isn't she great? So that I can at the same way be like, this is so and so, isn't he great? Um, Politically, I'm liberal, and it's important to me that he would be liberal as well. Um, let's see. I mean, I would like to be attracted to him. I would like him to be
Mm-hmm.
attracted to me, certainly.
That's a
And
big deal.
it
I mean,
is.
really is a big deal. I
Huge.
hate that, but it really is. Like, if you are not attracted to the person and you don't want to, like, I mean, wow, I'd be in trouble, guys.
And I think modern dating is such a problem too. Like the dating online is such a problem because I don't know about you, but it's very rare that I actually see a guy out and about that I'm attracted to, or I'm like, ooh,
Yes.
he is cute. Or something. It's I feel you often have to get to know somebody first, even if a
And
guy.
that's true for girls. Like for guys, it's
Yeah,
different, but for females, especially, a lot of times you have to get to know them. It is like one in a million will any guy make me, even though they're attractive. I can see physically they are attractive, but like for me, like you have to have some sort of connection or it doesn't click for me.
yes. So that like like I'm gonna look at a guy's picture. I'm gonna read the 3 lines that he wrote on this profile. I'm gonna make a decision, yes or no. It just I find that very stressful because I don't know. Because I don't like I do want to be attracted to them, but it's so rare that I see someone that I actually am immediately attracted to.
Yeah.
But also like,
Natalie, I want to know what your attributes you're looking for are.
yeah.
Mm. Attraction is big because for certain reasons. I want somebody who feels like safety and home base to me. Somebody that when I am feeling down, I just want to cuddle with. I want somebody I want to touch and be physical with, like just comforting, like a comforting presence. But I think what's really important is I want a man who is committed, who does not have a lustful eye, who wants to protect the relationship, who will make no doubt that they are a committed man in a relationship, will never leave a door open, right? And who doesn't need his ego stroked from other compliments from other women. Like, I just
Mm.
think that is very important to me because when that starts to crack, it's hard to stay in your softness and in your desire to be the woman for him. So like I really want a man who wants to be committed and not a man who wants to just feel good because a female is giving you attention. I want a man who is emotionally mature and can have deep conversations, even about things that maybe we agree on or maybe we don't, but like we go deep and talk about things that are happening in the world, happening in our lives. I want to talk about personal goals. I want to talk about growth. I want to I want the mundane things just to be alive and fun. Like if there's an afternoon and we want to go make a fun meal, we go to the grocery store and buy the fun and great. Like I don't need anything fancy. I had everything fancy. I've had all the trips. I've had everything I want. I had all that. And ultimately, when I think about it, is like, I want somebody I can have fun with, I could be silly with, that they're fun and silly with me, but that we're also just so emotionally vulnerable toward one another that we can open up and share and be each other's source of comfort and cheerleaders, and we don't need it from the outside. Of course, I want us to have social groups and we can have different social groups, but we get our like heart fulfilled from each other. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know if that's I don't know. I'm interested in Karina's take in terms of are those the qualities enough to make a strong, lasting foundation for a relationship?
I mean, everything you said was like, I was like, Josh and I have that.
Mhm. I want
Yeah.
some of
You
that
know what I
too. I
mean?
would like to add
Yeah.
that to my list. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
think we have
the fun laugh is
the
important.
fun laugh. Like
Mhm.
last week, I was really stressed out about my businesses and everything going on. And Josh and I went on 3 dates in a row. Like we went out on Thursday, we went out on Friday, and we went out on Saturday. And my heart needed that. Like I
Mm,
just needed that relaxation time and to
hmm
have someone to constantly do this. I know Nick, you've said this before, like you just really miss having someone to go travel with, like a partner to
Yeah.
go do things with. I'm not worried about it. Josh is the best travel partner. Like if I
Mm,
he just said yes like yesterday, so this is past this time, but we like have a trip to Maui planned and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to Maui in 2 weeks. This is going to be awesome." And I was just like, "It is. It's going to be awesome." Like
yeah.
just the two of us in Maui together. Um Josh does make me laugh. I don't think I was looking for that though. I honestly think it's a tiny bit of a fluke, and I'll tell you why. Because I have pretty severe PTSD, and it's very clear from my therapy appointments and stuff that I was choosing someone who was a protector because I was
Mm,
trying to get out of my family situation where there was abuse going on. And so I married him And he is a foot taller than me. He's substantially bigger than me. And I think I literally chose him based on physical appearance, not necessarily just because we got along. And so because of that, that's why I really feel like it hit the lottery, because it could have gone very badly. It usually does, right? You know, like you have a wrong picker because you came from a wrong family situation. And so in that way I would say we're definitely not perfect, but there are definitely good things. Like he makes me laugh. We're very good friends. Um, you know, I know sometimes people stay together just for the kids, but also there is something to be said about staying together for the kids, because
Mm-hmm.
your kids are my kids are such an integral part of my life, and there's only one other person who understands that, and that is Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is something to be said there, because those relationships are so tight.
Mhm.
um I was thinking this about like siblings. Like there's only the only other people who understand your familial relationships are your
Mm-hmm.
siblings, right? So it's like you can't make up that chemistry, right?
Yeah.
I think where people go wrong is where they only focus on the kids, or they only focus on their careers, or there's such a definition of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
For Josh and me, because I was able to build my career and he was always very positive about it. He did as he was going to do. I think when we were younger, I think the thing that kicks people apart in our in our like personalities and stuff is the small things. So like I'm an access service person, and Josh was, sorry honey, terrible at cleaning the house, cleaning up, like, you know, especially when we had small children. I felt so overwhelmed. And he was working full time as an attorney. I was working full time as a designer from home and running the kids around, and the house was always a mess. And now that I look back at it, I don't mind. Like I look back at it and I'm like, oh, I see where all the negativity and the disagreements and stuff was, because it felt so chaotic all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
how could it not feel that way based on
Mm-hmm.
everything we were doing, right?
Yeah.
Now we have one kid left at home. We have two in college, and it's easy. Like it's
Yeah.
it's really easy. And it's easy for us to go out. I mean, we just went out last night. We're going out again tonight. We went out 3 times last night. And I think 2025 in particular was my year to prioritize our relationship, because one of my New Year's goals was to go on 3 vacations with Josh by myself. We've never done that before, ever. I mean, we've gone on stuff by ourselves, but it was like far and few between. But it was like the first year where I was like, this is going to be a priority. We're going to go on 3 vacations by ourselves. One of them was Outpost X, where we did like a Star Wars theme. It was hilarious and fun. We went to Disneyland. I mean, we left Friday night, came back Sunday morning. So they were short trips. And now at the end of the year, we are going to go to Maui, or when it's going to be past by the time this episode comes out. But I think it's kind of like I've made that switch. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
now back to me and Josh versus
Mm-hmm.
us and the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so if I had to add a couple more things, Karina, I think maybe you have this with Josh. One would be a true committed relationship I want to be in is somebody who, like, neither one of us have, I don't know, barring some sort of horrible, horrible thing, we are committed to each other through thick and thin. Of course, there's going to be hard times. Of course, there's going to be times where I want to wring your neck or you're annoying me or whatever. But we just know, like, we're still in this together. You are my partner. Like, I want somewhere where that security is there, right? But then
Mhm.
also, this might be superficial, but I think I really want this. I want to be dated and I don't want that to go away. I want a man to take me out from time to time, to make me feel like pretty and like treat me every now and then. Like, hey, honey, don't even cook tonight. Like, we're going to go out to eat. Or, like just, I want to feel that feminine where it's not like me planning me or what do you want to do? Or what do you, no, like just freaking date me. Right?
Yeah.
Like, take initiative. I want a man that's going to take initiative, treat me like a woman, and date me. You
I
hear
think
that?
I think the hardest thing about that is well, at least in the case of Josh, I feel like I've had to train him up. So
Yeah.
like even at the beginning of this last year, 2025, I kind of said to him, I need this from you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put 3 vacations on our calendar because I need this from you right now. I need you to I was just like, I need you to open every door for me. I need you to like, so I verbally had to tell him, and he had done those things in the past. And he's really good about like showing up with flowers and stuff. But like, even more, I was just like, I need to feel like I'm in my mid 40s. I was just like, I don't feel like pretty anymore the way I used to. Like you just don't feel the way you
Mhm.
used to. And I was like, I need to feel that from you. And if you don't, then I'm going to not feel as good. And that would really help our relationship. And so I kind of made a list. We made a list. I kind of on a date gave him a list and he wrote it into his phone and he started doing it, and I sometimes have to remind him. But once in a while I'll just be like, hey, I I feel like I need a date on Friday. I mean, we always go out on Fridays. I was like, but you have to be in charge. He's like, okay, I'll be in charge. So there is something to be said about, I wish like all men just understood, but they just kind of don't? I feel like I've
Mhm.
been training Josh for 25 years and it's still training him?
Okay, I don't know if you're going to be able to relate to this, Karina. I think it's more of a question for Nikki. But
Okay.
um, what makes us accept less than we're worth? What makes us stay
Mm.
in relationships we know is not what we want?
Yeah. I I think I've learned a lot over the past couple of years. And where some of this stuff has come from. I love my dad, and so he passed what, a year and a half ago now. I love currently and loved him then. Um, but I think because of the way he was, and he loved me and he loved our family, but there was always a little bit of a distance. Like he couldn't, there was always a little bit of a wall that he could never quite take down. And I think I felt that. And I think I've talked to both of you guys about how in when he was diagnosed with dementia, and as that progressed, one of the strange blessings of that was that that wall just came down, and completely open and complete and would be emotional sometimes and would be um and I feel like I got closer to my dad in a lot of ways during that time. But it's after the fact, and after he passed, and after thinking about that, I think that wall, I I have chosen a lot of guys that were either unavailable or
Hmm.
like there was a lot, and I could like maybe they were kind of interested but they weren't. And I mean, like that long-term relationship I was talking about, there's 100%, like I looking back, I'm like, oh yes, that wall. And so I knew that wall. And I think a lot of that relationship, it was on and off for a while. And then we were together solidly for like 4 years together. It was just a weird, like I said, I don't even know if you could call it a relationship. We had a lot of fun together, but I also felt like I was trying to prove that I was worth him
Hmm.
loving me for a
Hmm.
lot of that. And I think that so much of that was because of I was trying to fix something. I was trying to get my dad's wall to come down by making this guy's wall come down, which I was never able to. Um, and I also think that either it just never occurred to me or nobody actually said to me, like, no, don't look for a guy that you have to look, don't look for a guy that you like and that you can get him to like you. Look for a guy who
Yes.
likes you first. Look for the
Yeah.
guy. I actually literally have run away from nice guys that I heard were going to ask me out. Isn't that funny? Like there
Wow.
have been nice guys that have wanted to go out with me, and there's something about that. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's another thing to unpack in another episode. But for a lot of years, I was like, oh, I'm comfortable with someone who's not able to totally engage with me. I like
Yeah.
that, and then I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving to them why I'm worth them, showing me that they love me. So that is my issue that I have working
Hmm.
on in a nutshell. Do you have any idea?
Yeah,
No, I mean, in
Natalie.
somewhat, no, I mean, I can relate to maybe there's a safety in being with somebody you can't really ever truly be with.
Mm,
Like somebody who isn't truly going to choose you or want you or make you feel wanted there, because like then there's maybe no real risk because there was no real
mm,
relationship.
yeah.
S- Yeah, my neighbor was telling me that last night. It doesn't specifically matter what she said, but she was talking about how women tend to choose to marry like the authoritarian type of the parent that they had. And
Mhm.
it made me reflect. I was like, oh, I don't think either of my parents were really kind of stern, but it made me realize neither one of my parents were very active. Like none of my parents were ever going to say, neither of my parents were ever going to say, like, how are you doing? Or what's going on in school? Or, nothing like that. And it like was this light bulb last night. Like I chose somebody like that too, where nobody was going to check on me. Nobody was going to ask me how I was doing. It was just like I could take care of myself. And so in some ways, like there was just this comfort of like, this is what I know. And so to have somebody maybe take a genuine interest is a little, I've never chose that. I've never had that.
Yeah.
So, hmm.
So interesting.
Isn't it? It's like, gosh, like, and I do think if you have the right partner, I think we can be successful on our own,
Mhm.
obviously, right? Like you're proof of that, Nikki. But
Thank you.
I think that if you do have a great partner, you just go so much further in life.
Mhm.
You've got somebody behind you, you've got somebody to brainstorm with, you've got somebody to cry with, you've got somebody to like remind you to keep you on track. It's just like, I do think life can be so much better when you have the right person. And I do think there's probably more than one right person, right?
Mhm.
But I think that I'm going to speak generally here, but there's probably lots of females who settle for much less than they want and that they're capable of having. And because of that, they have a much less life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do think it's a
Mhm.
sliding scale. And I'm going to say this. Sorry, Josh. I know he's
We
listening.
love you, Josh.
I really do think though, I was just thinking about this, like, Josh does not love listening to my business stuff. And most of the
Hmm.
time he has no idea what's going on. And I've always pondered what it would be like to be with a partner who liked my business stuff. And I'm gonna
Hmm.
be curious to see as you guys date, like what if that becomes something important to you. Because I just don't feel like that's something we'll ever have in our relationship. Josh is very supportive, but that doesn't mean he's a partner in terms of understanding and being a part of like what's going on in my business. My team's favorite, in fact, actually Design Suite and the universe, their favorite story is how I fired Josh from my team. Like he made it for 6 weeks in in my company. And I just think, at the end of the day, like we we can't have it all. I hate to say that, but you just
Yeah.
really can't. You know what I mean? Like I think you get if you can extract the best parts that's going to work for you in a marriage, then I think you're pretty lucky.
Well, have you heard of Brooke Castillo's want match?
No.
Mhm.
Okay, so she says in a relationship, you want to have a want match. And if you don't have a want match, then you ask yourself, can I get that in other relationships in my life? So, like, I would think I do not need a man for me to like go deep into my business. I don't think that's something it's high on my list at all. I have wonderful ladies like you two, right? That really get it.
Yeah.
My
Mhm.
want to talk about my business is fulfilled through you two. I don't need it through my partner. But let's say I have a want of I want to be physically intimate at least 3 times a week. Let's just say that's it, right? Well, if my partner doesn't want that, well, that becomes a problem because that want match can't really be fulfilled outside,
Mhm.
right? So, like, unless we're okay with you know what I mean? So it's like, it depends. Or, like, I have a want match of going out to dinner. I don't have this want match, but let's just say I have a want match of going out to dinner twice a week to a nice fancy restaurant. Well, if my partner doesn't want that, but I have a girlfriend who loves it, then I get my want match there and it's okay. So it's just a matter of we all have desires. Can we fulfill them? And is it okay? I don't think our partners should be everything, right?
Agreed.
Like for me, I want my partner to be that emotional rock that like when something awful happens in my business, I could go cry on his chest. He doesn't need to know all the ins and outs. I don't want him to solve it, but I want him to tell me like everything's going to be okay and you're going to be okay and come here and like let me be in your arms. I want a bigger guy. Somebody that
I
can
do.
I add
I
that
always
to the
remember
list?
you saying that you want a guy to like be able to pick you up and throw you around, which is not
Yeah.
Yeah.
difficult because you are very petite. I actually am relatively confident that I could pick you up and throw you around. So finding this guy should not be hard.
I feel like it shouldn't be hard either, Natalie. And I
Right.
will tell you that having a guy who can throw you around is should be on both of your lists.
Mm.
Okay, wait, before we round out for today, so Karina, you can grade our lists. Do you remember
Mhm.
me and Nikki's list? Like,
Yeah, I feel like they're both A plus plus lists, but I also think
are
if
they realistic?
yeah, they're
That's the
totally,
question.
I think they're totally realistic. That being said, I think you're going to be marrying people who are divorced or widowed, right? That's
Right.
what I think, like, especially at
Very
this
likely.
stage. But I think they're A plus plus lists, and I think you can actually find them because I do think that just like you guys have changed from when you were 20, men change as well, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think that they kind of figure out what they did wrong the first time around, and I think they are a little more insightful. And just from my experience with Josh and myself and him both growing and changing in the relationship, because you just don't know. Like, I like this want list thing. I think that's a really interesting idea because here's the thing. Early in my marriage, I was running businesses by myself and I needed Josh to be in on it because I didn't have any girlfriends because I had little kids and I didn't have time outside the home. So I think that's why I wanted that. Now I don't need it because I have you guys and I have other friends who own businesses. And so I don't need it. But I think there are certain times in your life you want things that you can't have. And I do think because of our age and experience, I think you guys can have the things you're looking for. Um I do, granted, I have not been in the dating market. So I don't know if there are tons and tons of men out there that are sensitive plus gonna throw you on the kitchen table. Like I don't know if that combo
Ow.
exists
No,
out
kitchen
there.
table's hard. Ow.
But I kind of think it must. I was just thinking about someone on my team who was divorced and got married again, and she's just like, she loves it. And I was just like, and she's a really sweet individual and had a really rough thing happen to her in her first marriage. And um, she found it. And I just kind of thought, why did she find it? Because she's open to it. And I
Mhm.
think it's just like, I literally think it's just like business, you guys. I think it's volume. Like you have to date a lot of people to find the one person that's right for you. Just like you have to design a gazillion products to find the one that's going to
Mm.
sell the best. You have to try a million funnels to find the one that's going to really work for you. I just
Well,
think
we
that's
didn't
the
really
same.
talk about it, but I wonder, like, but do we miss red flags? Because they have a few of these want matches. We're so attracted to them, or they're so, and we miss the red flags, or we don't listen to them.
I
That's,
think you guys are going to see the red flags. I think
yeah.
you will because you're advanced enough. Like I think missing red flags is something we do in our 20s. The other thing we have to be careful of is that something you can live with if you have like enough good things over here. That's the
Yeah.
other
Hmm.
thing cuz guys,
Well,
we're old. Like compromise is going to be the hardest part, I think.
Yeah.
I think you miss red flags in your 20s. I think you overlook them in your 30s. I know a lot of women who are
Or
like,
explain them away, like, it's
explain them
okay.
away.
Right.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But I also think now, I think that, and I think I've talked to you guys about how Melody and I have a flag pact. Like when we are dating, not each other, although God, that'd be so much easier. Man, I'm telling you, lesbians have won the lottery, the genetic lottery, like you guys won. Um, but a pact of like, look, we will tell each other what we are, and I will, expect this. I will do the same thing with you guys when I'm dating a guy. I will tell you all of this stuff. None of the like, I'm going to tell him this, but not this, and I'll tell him this thing, and I'll complain about
Hmm.
this, but not about this thing, because I think also too, friends at this point in our lives, there's no like, should you? It's very much like, to me, that's and the specific pact is a red and yellow flag pact. If it's a true red flag, if it's like absolutely not, no red flag, then the other person has to be like, nope, I hear you and I'm ending it. A yellow flag means I don't like this and I want to register this. I don't like this.
Hmm.
Be concerned. I don't like this. And the other person also has to be like, I hear you. And quite frankly, if a second yellow flag is thrown, it might as well be a red flag because two yellow flags isn't like enough
I
of
was
a
going to say it
two.
sounds like Nikki watches a lot of soccer
Yeah, I'm
based
like,
on
I'm
I do
very
two
proud
not.
red
of you,
I
Nikki.
cards,
do not
This is
know sports at
impressive.
all.
two
But
yellow
it's
cards.
But I will say, you guys have to be careful. And it's like an internal yellow flag if you are purposefully not saying things to your girlfriend because you know she's going to
exactly.
flag it.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
That's
think that,
true.
so I think that that's part of it too, is being like, I, I will say everything. And you might even say like, okay, so this happened and I'm kind of not saying it with much, which might indicate to me that or I'm kind of hesitating to say it, which actually might indicate that this is
Yes.
a yellow flag, but I'm going to say it. This happened
Hmm.
anyway. And yeah, probably your gut is right, but I think that that's important too, now that there's so many years when we were all like, oh, well, I don't know, because especially like 20s, everybody's hoping to get married and everybody's hoping, and everyone's like, I don't really like her fiance, but like she seems
Hmm.
really happy. And then, 10 years later, they're getting divorced and it sucks. Or 20 years later, they're getting divorced and it sucks. And which is not to say that you don't want to turn back time or hindsight being 2020, but now I think it's like, what's the fucking point of tiptoeing around like, hey, so I met him and I get that you like him. I'm not loving him for you for these reasons. And I'm just going to say it. Do with it what you
Hmm.
will. I'm not telling you to break up with him, but I want to register this because I saw this and I didn't love this.
Are we
I think that
agreeing
that's
that
the
we're going to
loving
use
thing to
the
do.
system?
Yeah, I really think we should.
Okay.
And quite
All
frankly,
right.
Josh, I will throw flags on you as well. I don't think I can really throw a red flag because that would be like the full divorce flag. So that would maybe it's like a black flag. No, but I think you have to rely on your friends to do that. Throw the flags. Throw the
Mhm.
flags.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. I
Yeah,
hope you
this was
guys
good.
liked this episode. It was, I
Yeah.
mean, we were just talking. I learned a lot in this episode, and I am excited to use red, yellow. Oh, are we using green flags too and blue flags? Green flags are like, yes,
Well,
this is
what's a blue
awesome.
flag?
Yeah, what's a blue flag?
I don't know. I just made that up. I just started adding
Green flag.
colors.
If you hear
So
something you really like, green, green. Like,
Yeah.
let
I
us
mean, like
know.
I feel like you kind of understand that anyway. Blue flag is like that's deeply disturbing. Like,
Blue?
I was thinking,
what?
I
What
was
did he
What?
do?
no,
Blue
I thought blue
flag.
was going to be in between. It would be like the yellow flag. It's like oh, that could be really good, but man, he didn't go far enough.
Oh.
We're not creating
Oh.
like a designer's painting palette here. We got to
Like
keep
if
this
they're
simple.
okay, so the cyan flag means
Magenta is one step
yeah.
lower than the red.
Yes. Fuchsia, however, she's got a whole color palette of
It's
flags.
going to be perfect, you guys.
Next
Next
week, her book will
episode,
be out explaining what each color means.
it'll have its own book. It's going to be just like the
You
flag
can
book.
find it on Amazon.
Yes, and you can buy the flags so you could literally throw flags at your friends and your friends' boyfriends.
Wait, have you
No,
seen the guy
yeah.
on Instagram who does that? He just like watches videos and then he inserts himself and he's carrying a really big red or yellow and he just runs around. He's like, red flag. And he
Oh
just runs.
no, I've not seen that.
It's hilarious. He just like finds random things that people are talking about on the internet and he's like, red flag. And he's running around in a big field. And so his flag is bigger than his body. And he's like, that's a green flag.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
for it.
Can we promise, Nikki, when you start going on your first couple dates,
Yes.
hopefully he's not listening to this right now, whoever it may be.
Again, if he's doing his research, he should be.
Well, okay. Well, then he better be prepared because Karina and I are going to have flags, color-coded flags, green, yellow, and red. And we want you to recall all the details of your dates, and we're going to like do our flags as you
Better
talk about.
yet, why don't I mic the dates so
Oh,
he doesn't know that you guys are listening in and I'm facing the street, he's facing into the restaurant, and across the street is a big field. And anytime that he says anything that you don't like, you're both running through there with flags. I think this would be, I just imagine you guys like running into each other, scrambling to grab the different flags. That's what
that's
I want out of my
clearly a
dating
much better
life. I want
idea.
entertainment and I want friend participation. It seems very reasonable to me, and this is 100% what I expect and nothing less.
This
That
sounds
seems
doable.
like the right
Yeah.
note to end this episode
All
on.
right.
Dunzo.